Hi, I'm Donnie Bubang, and welcome to yet another episode of Life Lived in Purpose. So, today I will be talking about being on the journey of purpose and how it will actually inspire you, to actually do more than just going through the emotions of everyday life. Now, let's explore that a little bit more. Let's talk about being inspired on your purpose driven journey. When you have finally decided to walk in your purpose driven journey, you are now fully committed to being on your journey. There's something powerful about just being one with your destiny that feels so peaceful. You actually come alive, and it's like being inspired to actually give more and do more for your purpose as God sees it. So that's one of the ways that will tell you you're in the right place and that you're where God wants you to be. So you get excited actually about having projects to do, being engaged in where God is leading you and directing you to go. It's an inspiration just to live each day doing what God is calling you to do. You're also optimistic about the unexpected and the expected or unexpected situations that may arise and what that will look like. It's just pure joy when you're in the right place at the right time and in the right season of your life on your purpose driven journey. So, a life of purpose inspires you to do more than before. You'll become even more engaged in the process that God has planned for you. You get to also see how your life will change, evolve as time goes by, and how you grow just living each day to be on more adventurous journeys with God in your pursuit of purpose. So I can definitely attest to that feeling, that I get when I wake up each and every single day and, look towards what would God have me to do on this particular day. Sometimes I may just be in a stage of writing, or for example, writing a new book, or my next quest. What would that be? For example, starting a podcast, which is actually coming soon. So anything like that, just being excited each day about the possibilities of what God might be calling you to do on that particular day. So for me, there is never a dull moment in my journey or my purpose driven journey with God. You are so filled with joy about the lives that you get to touch and the people who are inspired with what you do day in, day out, on your purpose driven journey and on your fellowship journey with God. So, those beliefs, that many of us may have before about a life lived with God as being maybe cold or hard to follow, it's actually not true. Rather, I have seen the hands of God, especially in my own life, and I can attest to that fact that there is absolutely no such thing as torture, or this idea of me picking up my cross to follow Jesus on a dry desert road. Because my purpose rather gives me this unexplainable joy. I get to do what I love to do. And so I'm inspired even more to do and create more of what God is calling me to do. So I now see the difference between just living and going through the emotions, of just everyday life and actually living for God on a journey of purpose and destiny and just living in the promises that He also has written over our lives. So, my advice today for those of you who are committed to following after God's plan for your life, just see it as a joy. See it as a joy that you get to live and experience in your lifetime. God wants us to truly be connected to who we are and not what the world requires for us to be. When we live that way, we get to see more of God's glory here on the earth through our lives than ever before. So yes, don't get me wrong, we will still have our trials, we'll still have our tribulation or tests here and there. But beyond all of that, there is peace. There is peace that we will have about ourselves, about our lives. And that's something that you just can't get rid of. You can't erase, because once you're on that purpose driven journey, everything just, it all works in your favor. So God truly wants us to be in the right lane. He wants us to follow the path that He had preordained for us. He wants us to find our purpose and live within our purpose, while we are here on earth. He predestined our lives for such a time as this to carry forth His glory here on the earth. So there's no hiding His joy. There's no pretending that we're just here to live, the way non-Christians choose to live. We have something unique for each of us to do that is reflective of who we are and who God created us to be. So don't run. Don't run from the task that God is calling you to take up and do. Don't allow either any form of fear to also prevent you from moving forward with your life, your goals, and the dreams that you have for yourself. Remember, God created you with those desires of your heart, and He also knows more than you do about, what you want to see for yourself and your life. Allow yourself then to just be true to who you are and to whom God created you to be. Think about it this way. You only have one precious life to live. Wouldn't you want to see these goals and dreams of yours actually becoming a reality? Wouldn't you want to see that maybe that book idea you had hidden away, or that business opportunity you have stashed away in your thoughts, but you haven't taken the time to explore the idea or to do something about it, to even put yourself out there or to take one step further towards that goal, that dream, or that purpose that you have for yourself? So don't let fear, doubt, or unbelief push you away from pursuing your destiny. Rather, you have to push past those things. Push past the things that are telling that it's not possible for you to accomplish your dreams or anything. You're far too gone. God is done with you. It's too late. You can't go back. You ran out of time. Those things are just a multitude of excuses that the enemy plagues us with on a daily basis to get us into fear and doubt, and to even doubt the promises God has written over your life. So you don't want those excuses to cause you to become stuck or stagnant and not pursue the purposes and plan God has written over your life. So here's how I get through those difficult dream killers, I call it. As soon as I hear something negative, I have to tell myself, am I going in the opposite direction? I actually have to go in the opposite direction of that thought. So for instance, once I move in the opposite direction of that thought, I'm able to actually accomplish the task that I feared doing in the first place. So that's key. When you hear a bad or negative thought, go in the opposite direction of that thought. And once you do that, it actually is like peeling off a layer, and that fear or whatever that thought was that you had, you actually will overcome it. So for instance, for me, I'm an introvert. In fact, I don't even know how I'm able to even do these videos right now. But I shielded actually away from having to do anything with public speaking. Anything speaking in public, not my thing before. But the fears that I had was that, I will run out of things to say, for example, or even that my Jamaican accent might be too much for people to handle, or it's hard for them to understand. So yes, these are some of the valid points that, that prevent many of us from even stepping out and talking or speaking, or even stepping into our God-given greatness. But what benefit will you have anyway, staying behind the scenes and not actually doing anything about it? Who can remember the story of Moses? Moses himself complained to God about his inability to speak to Pharaoh when God was calling him to do so. Did he shy away from it and tell God he wasn't going to do it? Well, no, he didn't. He just asked for another mouthpiece. He asked for his brother Aaron instead to speak on his behalf. So he still, even though he had that fear of public speaking, he still accomplished the task that God had called him to do. He just took a different route. So for me, running out of words or fearing that I may not have anything to tell you right now is just another fear that I just need to overcome. So for my way of even coping or overcoming this is just probably write notes. Have your notes, write down what you need to say, and then just say it. And as soon as you take these little baby steps, then you're seeing yourself evolve, and now you're able to speak freely and openly about what you have to say. So it's all a matter of practicing and just keep going. Keep putting your foot forward no matter what. No matter what you're struggling with, your fears, just take baby steps, and one at a time, you'll see yourself evolve. You'll see that you become more comfortable with speaking and engaging and doing whatever it is God is calling you to do on your purpose-driven journey. Another thing to remember is that God will equip us. He will equip us on our purpose-driven journey in every stage of the process. He may ask you to do, that public speaking course, or, for example, learn how to self-publish a book. He may also give you ideas about, a business, or show you ways how to market your business, or whatever it is that, God is calling you in particular to do. So the key here is that God, he doesn't throw us out there to the wolves, like to just fend for ourselves and try to figure everything out. He'll take us through preparation for everything that he's calling us to do. For me, preparation for public speaking involves just doing these YouTube videos and doing a podcast, which, a podcast is coming soon. There also have been opportunities for me to speak to small groups in preparation for other platforms, that may come along my path, or even doing podcast interviews. So don't be afraid of these little steps and accomplishment that may take you outside of your comfort zone. Rather, be excited, rejoice about them, and celebrate them. You're getting closer to your journey of purpose for every step that you take and every roadblock that you were able to defeat. Remember also, your journey of purpose is a lifetime. You're not just doing this quickly and that's it. You're living this for a long time, and it requires preparation for every stage of your commitment to your purpose. So be also inspired by the many unexpected twists and turns that God has planned for your journey as well. They will come. Some may be unexpected. Some, he thinks outside the box sometimes. So remember, he will not just throw you out, in the lion's den if he doesn't think you're ready, or if he doesn't know, how capable you are of doing something. So confidence in yourself and your ability to perform is also key. Remember, I will be sure to do a video on the topic of confidence for another episode. So stay tuned for that one. So a life of purpose, as I've probably mentioned a million times over, it's peace in the midst of chaos. It's joy in the midst of fear. It's happiness in the midst of uncertainty, and laughter in the midst of sadness. So what do I mean by this? Remember, your purpose-driven journey was created to help you to also function optimally at your best self. So there is a distinct difference between being who you truly are and also operating in that space compared to just living day in and day out, For example, when I work as a pharmacist in my past career, I honestly went through the emotions. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. I had lost passion for it. And I was even questioning why I was there in the first place. So there was nothing that connected me with being there. And so I was just living to get by day in, day out. And trust me, that was miserable. And for many of us, know that too, you may be afraid of, taking that needed action step or leap of faith to get where you are, to get to where you need to be, and where you feel like you yourself would thrive. So now, me looking back from where I was to where I am now, I can honestly say to you, I am not living anymore in the emotions of just a purposeless life. I am at peace with myself and my decisions to go after my dream and my decisions to be at peace with where God is taking me and to be at peace with my journey and my destiny. So my life, I hope, will inspire you to also reflect on your journey and to take those needed leaps of faith or action steps towards a better life for you, a better future for you, and just everything, being on that journey of purpose that you know God is calling you on and you know God created especially for you. So thank you once again for tuning into another episode of Life Lived in Purpose. If you haven't already grabbed a copy of my book, A Balanced Life, Always Be Inspired to Live the Life God Has Planned for You, this book was actually written to help anyone who's ever struggled with dysfunction in their life. And you thought that was the norm. It was the norm to live in dysfunction. But we know that that's not the norm. And God wants us to live purposeful lives and to be on the path He called us to be on. So dysfunction is not the norm, but rather it actually signifies that you're on the wrong path that God is calling you on. Also, be sure to grab a copy of my memoir, I Am Who God Says I Am. Always be inspired to live the life God has planned for you to live. The link for both books is in the description box below. So until next time, I do thank you once again for watching. Bye-bye.